All right, per usual, today's shoulder day, we're starting off with side lat raises. I do these ones seated because a few of the other shoulder days, like I do cable, that one's standing obviously. And then I think at the end of one of the whole days, I do a standing side lat raise with dumbbells. And then another one is, I think, side lat raise machine. So I do these ones seated to kind of fluctuate it a little bit, see where we're standing. And with this, you get less leg movement in it as you're driving up with your elbows. So the less leg movement you have, it's a shitload better because you can actually focus more on the shoulder. So I always do these ones seated. But that's the only reason. So let's get the fuck after it. So obviously these are a lot more like restricting when you're seated because you're not getting all that leg movement and play in there with it. Yeah, you get some when you're rocking up and down, back and forth, but as long as, towards the failure reps, I mean, but as long as you're, like those first good ones, you're staying straight and steady with them and not rocking them the whole way, you can feel that motherfucker all the way through. But yeah, towards the end of like the failure reps, you're gonna get a little bit of rock in there, you're gonna get a little bit of shrug, but try to maintain mind and muscle connection, as always. But then again, to a certain extent, just move the fucking weight. We're rocking on the last set now before we get some dumbbell press in, so let's get these in. That's a good opener every time. Let's get some dumbbell press in. So everybody's got like their style for their movement. And for me, when I'm doing dumbbell shoulder press, I don't want it so steep that I'm doing like essentially like incline chest press, but I want it to where I can feel it in my shoulders and I'm not actually activating my chest. But I'll show you guys what I mean here on these next few sets. All right, jumping on the upright rows. There's really no science behind these. As long as you're keeping your shoulders or your traps like down instead of shrugging it up and out. Like try to focus on driving your elbows up and it'll be a game changer. But obviously you have to focus on it. Do like a couple practice sets with lighter weight. Get the muscle to mind movements in first. And then hop into the motherfuckers. But I actually really like these because you can stand back with them a little bit too and actually focus on driving up. Just like you could like Smith Machine 2, like staying back on it and actually going up instead of leaning more forward and focus on rear delts. These, fucking love them. Well, let's get the fuck after it. Shut up. All right, let's wrap on now. Let's get some rear delt flies in. Okay, obviously we don't have a fly machine. We do have the Nautilus one, but I like when the handles are more outer, not necessarily the ones that go in like your elbow pit. I just don't really fucking like those ones. So either do it this way or I grab like those ankle things that you do for like abductors kinda. I think that's what they are. It's just the fucking things you put around your ankle. But I'll hook it onto there and Velcro it shut. And sometimes, like that's the movement you kind of want driving out with your rear delt. But to each their own. Everybody's got their own way. Sometimes I'll do single arm. Just whatever way you're feeling that day. Doing it this way, I feel more, I would say, balanced out, because obviously one's going to be stronger than the other. That's kind of a given. So it just feels more natural to do it this way. That's why I've done it. But rolling on to the last set here. Let's get this bitch hammered out and get some cardio in, so I get to get some groceries. Alright, shoulder pump obviously felt fucking immaculate, being the first day back in after, what was it, 4 days off. So yeah, the pump felt fucking good. Shoulders are feeling full as fuck. Rear delt's starting to come in really good. Looking healthy and girthy in the shoulders. Just shoulders all around and in general. Especially right after I get done doing front raises, that front delt feels like it's popping a fuckload. So that is the pump for the day. And we gotta go get groceries, and yeah, I don't know why I was tallying. I got a bunch of shit I gotta do, but I don't remember half of it. So I got a list on my phone and I'll go through it. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you all on the next one.